Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. If your Frigidaire dehumidifier is flashing that dreaded F0 error code and has completely stopped working, I've got good news. In this video, I'll walk you through 3 proven solutions that have helped thousands of viewers get their units running again. The good news is that sometimes this scary-looking sealed system failure code can actually be a simple sensor cleaning job that'll take you 5 minutes. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. So the most common culprit I see is actually a dirty internal sensor, not a real sealed system failure. This little thermistor sensor sits on one of the copper tubes inside your unit, and when it gets gunked up with dirt or corrosion, it can't read temperature properly. You'll know this is your problem when the F0 code pops up and all your control panel buttons stop responding. Here's the fix. First, safety first. Always unplug the unit and wait 10 minutes before starting any work. You'll need a Phillips head screwdriver to remove the back cover. Fair warning, these covers are secured tightly, so you might need to apply firm, steady pressure to get the screws loose. Once you're in, look for a small sensor probe clipped onto one of the copper tubes. Pull it out and scrub it down with a scotch pad or abrasive sponge to get all that gunk off. Clean the inside of the copper tube where it sits too. Pop it back in, reassemble everything and plug it back in. This fix works about 70% of the time and it costs you nothing but a few minutes. Now, if cleaning that sensor didn't work, you're probably dealing with an actual sealed system failure, which means your unit's lost refrigerant through a leak somewhere. You'll see the F0 code, but the telltale sign is looking in your water tank for reddish or brownish sediment. That rust color tells you the internal components have corroded and you've got a refrigerant leak. The compressor might run and get hot, but there's no cooling happening because there's no refrigerant left to do the job. Here's the deal with this one. Frigidaire considers this a warranty issue for up to 5 years on the sealed system. If you're still under warranty, here's exactly what to do. Call Frigidaire's customer service line. I'll put the number in the description. Have your model and serial number ready, along with clear photos of the F0 error on your display and any rust-colored sediment in the water tank. They typically require you to cut the power cord and send photos as proof before shipping a replacement unit. If you're out of warranty, this isn't a DIY fix. Refrigerant work requires special tools and certification, plus you'd be looking at a $200 compressor anyway. The other thing that can trigger an F0 or EC code is running your dehumidifier when it's too cold. These units are designed to work between 41 and 89 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the safe operating zone you'll see here on screen. The critical temperature to watch is 65 degrees. Below this point, ice crystals start forming on the evaporator coils, which you can actually see through the front grille, and this triggers the F0 error. As a safety measure, you'll actually see the ice build up at the bottom of the grill area and your humidity levels will stay stuck, like you can't get below 64% no matter what. The fix is simple. Turn the unit off and let it defrost completely. Move it somewhere warmer if needed and make sure your room temperature stays in that recommended range. Running it on a lower setting can help prevent future freezing too. All right, so the F0 code is basically your dehumidifier's way of saying something's wrong with my cooling system. Now, I'm going to walk you through the most likely causes, starting with the cheapest and easiest fixes. Here's what we're dealing with. Sometimes it's just a dirty sensor playing tricks, sometimes it's actual refrigerant system problems, and sometimes it's just running the thing in conditions that are too cold. The temperature sensor that causes most F0 codes is actually pretty cheap to replace if cleaning doesn't work. You're looking at anywhere from about $5 to $33, depending on the exact sensor and where you shop. These are available from appliance parts dealers, and it's definitely worth trying if the cleaning trick didn't solve your problem. The replacement is pretty straightforward. Just unclip the old one and clip in the new one. Way cheaper than buying a new dehumidifier. Now, if you've got a real sealed system failure and you're out of warranty, replacing the compressor is going to run you anywhere from $195 to $200 just for the part. Here's the thing though, you can't DIY this repair because it involves handling refrigerant, which requires special tools and certification. Plus, when you factor in professional labor costs, you're probably looking at more than it costs to buy a decent new dehumidifier. This is one of those don't be a hero situations. The evaporator coil itself can get damaged from repeated freezing, and replacement parts run anywhere from about $80 to $108. But again, this is sealed system work that needs a professional, and by the time you pay for parts and labor, you're in new unit territory. The coil issue is usually preventable by keeping your room temperature in that recommended range. Now, you can see right there on your screen the most common Frigidaire models that run into these F0 code problems. The FFAD 7033R1 seems to be the biggest troublemaker. I've heard from tons of folks whose units developed this issue right around the 3-year mark. Take a look and see if your model's listed there. That's how you tackle the Frigidaire F0 error code. Start with that sensor cleaning. It's free and fixes the problem more often than you'd think. If that doesn't work and you're still under that 5-year sealed system warranty, get on the phone with Frigidaire right away. And remember, if you're dealing with repeated freezing issues, check that room temperature. Your next steps are simple. Start with the sensor cleaning I showed you. It's free and works 70% of the time. If you're still under that 5-year warranty, make that call to Frigidaire today. And if you found this helpful, share it with anyone dealing with appliance issues. These simple fixes can save hundreds in repair costs. If this helped you get your dehumidifier working again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.